her, and like I used the script on TikTok as well, the same thing. Then I thanked her, and then she was actually really nice. She said that it has been helping her, the doodling ones, like the kuraha,
Hmm.
because she has anxiety, and then we actually had a good chat, Hama, using that script, and then she said that something to help her with the anxiety more, like a other
Hmm.
content, other. So that was nice. Like I'm also exploring that sorts. Cool.
Hmm. Okay, so like if anybody is commenting, that's something like you can do because the more you
Hmm.
engage, the more you will know. Like let me share one win that we had last night. And there was this one student, Aza. You saw her in the like
Hmm.
class group. What happened was, so I think it was after it was just a week that I started. I told you that day I'm going to comment to people. I mean DM to all the people who are like reacting or commenting or engaging with my post. So I think it was a week back I started doing this one. And then that day the first person who I like DM'd was one person. So I completed the like podcast interview today. Who's there? Your brother is disturbing you?
No, that's my cousin sister. Not cousin sister, my stepsister. She's trying
Ask
not
her
to disturb and being whispering, so
ask her to leave alone for some time.
yeah.
Okay, so what happened was that day when I messaged this guy, like somebody who has interacted, when I opened the DM and I said thank you, I noticed that we had conversed earlier. Like there was a conversation earlier, like in 2023. And after that, I never had a conversation with this guy. And then he asked that he wanted to start the business in Middle East and he's looking for opportunities. So let's just have a Zoom call. And we did that Zoom call last week. And today we were supposed to like do the podcast interview, and alhamdulillah I did it. So like that's a win. And then the other thing happened was with Azza. So the same thing I did. I just sent her a text saying that I'm so grateful that you like you engage with my post. I just want to thank. That's what I said. And then she said like you have been an inspiration. I've been always following you, and that's the message came. And then like so yesterday it was the so it was like 25th afternoon she messaged me saying that I want to join DLCC. It was such
Oh,
a sudden decision. And then last night in the class, she mentioned that I have been looking into it for some time. Like I have been following you. Like I have been stuck, but I have been like just like not doing anything. And then I had a coaching session with one of the recent coaches. So she's like following and knows the topic. And then she said, like this person says, be gentle with yourself. You are giving a lot of negative, like talk to yourself, self talk. So just be gentle. And then when I sent the message to her, she said it was the sign for her. And then she decided to like enroll, and she's there. So like that's the power of that's what we are talking. And I think that's the same thing that all of the mentors I have has been talking. And I also did this
mm,
guy, the Zoom call with the Uganda person. So it was like as a free session. I did a session for him and I explained the topic for him. So that's so
mm.
it's a win. I must say it's a win.
That is a win.
Hmm. Okay. So let's. What about your challenge? Is it tomorrow?
No, 30th.
30th. How many people have registered?
30, 31. No one. I checked today morning, but no one has.
Oh.
So, like Nolibuniyamong, like you said, Anikawe sama pahong anakate. We'll
Hmm.
put it again, the same thing.
Yes. Yeah, then try to in the meantime, even if nobody registers, it's okay. Try to create. Now focus on the niche. I
Hmm.
sometimes feel whatever you are doing is a little bit out of niche. So try to focus onto the
Hmm.
niche because the
Meharu,
more
it's
you.
becoming a little bit easier because Kuriga, like, I haven't engaged in Kurate. I don't know actually.
Hmm.
Like
Hmm.
what I'm doing. Eka
Hmm.
Miharu ekada when I do the post ekada Varbondang mind gainde that one focus on that one individual labonimeno. So
Hmm.
now post tang hadar hamai ko tavisna fada nedo. So it's a little bit
Hmm.
easier now. Purina
Yeah, easier,
boredo.
right? The,
And I
hmm.
actually got
Hmm.
I didn't post anything or anything, but somebody asked me if I teach public speaking. And then I said, I don't take I can take a session for you. And she was actually willing to pay. So I've been thinking about it,
Hmm.
about creating a course for Hama
Hmm.
public speaking with that's
Hmm.
for that.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, you can do it, no problem. Yes. Okay, so let me just highlight the how to like I want you to be very familiar, very peculiar with your niche. So let me just show you again my niche. So that you will have an idea how this gets smaller and smaller into the screen three. Present this. Hmm, present. So now I'm showing the screen application shipping. So take the idea and refine your niche one more time. Here, what happens is I am in the first we have to focus into the industry. So which industry are you? It's a you can say art and craft industry or whatever that like you because when you do that Gemini research, you will see which industry this belong. Also, you can say I am like I help people heal with art like something okay which industry this falls so you have to ask this one and when I am in the self industry by the 100% of people they are the people who are in business or personal development from business plus personal those two things comes up then now when I make it smaller and focus it's like professionals looking to transition into a lifestyle business so you usually one person business is called a solopreneur like although we says as we are an entrepreneur, we are not an entrepreneur, we are a solopreneur. You become an entrepreneur when you have a group of people working for you and you have systems established. Otherwise, you are a solopreneur. So I'm looking for this lifestyle business solopreneur. And then from these people, who am I targeting? I'm not targeting for anybody below 20, like 35. I'm targeting for people who are above 35 and between 60 years. So what will I do for them? I will help them to through course creation. And by course creation, what is this course? It's about high ticket coaching training and speaking programs. That's what I am doing. And then what do they want to achieve? They want to achieve their first 20,000. So it should be like less than the period. Okay, 20, it says 20,000. So in the first 20, like 18 months, they should be able to make their first 20,000. That is the target. So what is the pain they have? Now we have to, when we are talking about this one person, we have to again identify what is the pain. So professionals established in any industry who doesn't have the time to work on a high ticket offer. Basically, now they say, I'm working, I don't have enough. They juggles family and work life. Usually people, let's say, sada. She is juggling work and family life, interested to create their own product, time freedom, mental freedom, and financial freedom. So that's and they believe in the power of self-education industry. So they believe that, okay, they should have that belief also. Okay, through this high ticket offer, I can get that financial freedom, time freedom, and then loves helping and adding value to other people. So it's also important whether they love doing this kind of work. Now, because I am on a mission to fail, I keep on messaging people like strangers, friends, and I mean, not strangers, like friends who I have engaged somewhere. I will just send a message saying, do you think, don't you think you need to start a business or something like that? Just after like a little bit of an introduction and a little bit of other talk, I'll just say, you have like, the other day I messaged somebody who was working in the bank, who was like with me, and still she is working in the bank. So I asked her, don't you think you need to teach whatever you have learned in the bank to someone else? So like I keep on asking and doing these experiment things where like I try to engage. Otherwise, I have known this girl for the last, I mean, 22 years. I never reach out to her. But then I reached out to her and then I said this. So I'm like, because I'm on a mission to fail, so it doesn't matter now. Because earlier when she says, no, this is not my thing, I will be worried. Oh, she said that maybe I shouldn't be doing. But now that I'm on a mission to fail, okay, let me approach as much as people as possible so that I get this 100 failures, 100 rejections. So that's like how what would I say? I shifted my mindset because of that fear of failure, fear of rejection. I think all my life, for the, let's say if I take 100% into coaching business from 2018 to up to 2025, I have been afraid of this fear of rejection. And I told you the other day, I noticed this pattern. Let's say for my YouTube channel, when I ask people to subscribe, and then only I think 10 people subscribe. So in the Facebook group, I asked them to subscribe, only 10, I got 10 new subscription. And I realized that after around 15 days, I was like observing my thoughts, my behavior, and I realized because they didn't like subscribe to my channel, I stopped doing videos. So these things are happening, and I have been noticing. I've been like giving attention to what is happening in like within me, like where is it related, and I have been doing all those things, and like I was able to figure out. So that's where I decided, okay, from today, instead of making money, instead of serving, now my thing is, okay, let me fail, let me get rejected, and now I can message to anybody. I even message to one of the public, the who is the guy. Uh, he is a friend. He was the manager of privatization and corporation board, the guy who just resigned. So I thought, no, what are you doing now? And he said, okay, just for the time being, I'm on my own business. So I said, okay, what are the challenges you are going through? And he said, the most important thing is the competition. So I said, okay, you have years of experience. How about you join in my program and like learn in my process? So I just said it. Then he said it's a good idea, but I haven't reached out to him after that, because he's an expert. I didn't want to like lose that respect and like jump into things. But he said it's a good idea. Now, when I create results and when I start showing on like social media, he will be watching it because he is somebody who is engaging with my content. So that's like the thing. I wanted to create him the interest in it. So, and the question here in this process is how. So the through Mindpreneur, so the Pioneer Creators Program, that is what I'm selling at this moment, and that is what I'm marketing for as well. So anybody who wants to earn their first 20,000 in the 18 months. So when I talk about in my posting, you would have noticed that when I do the LinkedIn posting, I talk about that I made $27,000 and I'm going to make $100,000. So I help the people who wants to make first like 5 figures, means the first 10,000. The people I want who want to take. So people are interested, people are curious, they are checking, and I can see that like it's happening. It will work, and we have to trust the process and ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala more. Always remember that we have to ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala more as well. Usually we think, okay, I should put more time here, but we should put more time here. asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, remembering him, and then like, okay, detach ourselves from the results. Let's say our decision is 2 hours on LinkedIn. Okay, 2 hours on LinkedIn. And then we spend another 1 hour asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and then we see the results. It will be different. Today, when I went for gym, I had an intention. Like I thought, okay, I want to. I told my husband on the way, like we were going to the gym below our apartment, and I told I want to get friends to these guys here because for 2 years I don't have a friend here, and I'm on a mission to become friends with people. And the girl in the counter, she was a sweet, like little 18-year-old kid. I told her that you look very young. How old are you? And she said, like, I'm 18 years. And I started talking, and eventually I came back taking her mobile number as well. So, like, this thing is, this is something I've been here 2 years and I have never talked to a guy, anybody. Like, even into the gym, I would smile at somebody, but I will never ask somebody. And last week also, I did something. I was coming out of the gym, and then like this person was in the elevator with me. I asked, where are you from? Are you from Jeddah? And she said, okay, I'm from here. And I said, I'm from Maldives. So the moment I say I'm from Maldives, like people get interested. It's like they are interested. So we talked, and I got her number, and I have been like asking her, let's meet for a coffee. So, okay. So I decided to make it happen. And then I realized that also the other magical thing, because I had the intention, I want to make friends with from here. When I was like signing out of the gym, three ladies came in. And then at the gym counter, you have to register your apartment number, your like tower, because we have 3 towers in this building. So we have to give everything. And then she said, like, we are from 303, and just the next room to me. So I immediately say, okay, I am like living in the next room. We are next door neighbors. So you see how it comes, because you, when you have the intention, when you believe, and then when you keep on Allah, asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that the manifestation part is happening, like and we don't know. Now if I want to reflect back onto my last year when I made the decision, okay, it was in September. I put this goal that I want to make 80,000. Like I put the goal as 80,000. So when I put the goal 80,000, and I also advertise it on Facebook, saying that, okay, for the Sankos university fee, I'm going to do it. And then I think within 2 days, I fell down and I had to go through this surgery. So if I have to look at this, like I can say I'm cursed. Like because of the evil eyes, this happened. Like I can talk all these things. Even I think I remember I told you this as well, saying because I had those same doubts. But now that like I have overcome that phase, and now I am here like trying to get results. What I feel is that slowdown, I had to do that slowdown, because if I didn't do the slowdown, I would try to repeat whatever I was doing earlier also. But because I had to slow down, and then I hit that rock bottom stage, again I have to ask myself the question, okay, this theory worked, this process worked, but this is not giving me results every month. So what is that one process that I have to get results every month? And then, okay, I started like looking for that answer. People who are getting results every month, what are they doing? So it's because of the connection, the human connection. That's what I learned. So that's the difference. What are your thoughts? What are your questions on it?
No questions.
Hmm. Okay, so that's it. But
Please tell me more about what you need.
no, I don't need anything to help. That's my motto. Please tell me what you need. Go to help. Okay, so these are my, like, I do a lot of designing work. So my goal here, like I did a plan here, my time commitment and everything, and like the problem I'm solving. So I have the growth text explained here. 3-day plan, the chat logs. Okay. So whenever, okay, another thing that I wanted to teach you. whenever you are talking to somebody, like you ask what is that challenge they are going through, try to ask these 4 points, these 4 questions basically. Okay, what do they want to achieve at the end of 12 months? Because like when we ask about the challenge, they will talk about the challenge and then they will keep talking more about the challenges. But when we think from a coaching perspective, you should always remember that you have to ask them for the, like, what do they want in the future? That part should come. So let's say if you're creating a 5-day challenge, what do they want from the 5-day challenge? Me like, but then also you have to ask them, what do you want at the end of year? Why is it important to you? Those questions you should ask. Then the second question, the second point you have to think is the frustrations. What is getting in their way? What are you struggling with that? What obstacles are stopping you from getting that goal? So when you ask these questions, you know what is like, what are the beliefs, because you have learned this one. So when somebody says I'm procrastinating, you know deep down it's because of fear. So you know how to help the person. And then the third point you have to ask is what are their failures? How have they failed in the past, and what are they willing to try? So this is an important question. What are they willing to try? And what are they not willing to try? Now, let's say because I failed in the network marketing business, I say outright, I don't want to do network marketing anymore because I failed. So I'm not interested in doing the network marketing. And then you have to also ask this question, are they in any other coaching program? Like, because sometimes people, let's say, now, anybody who approaches me wants to try to sell anything to me, they cannot sell because I have already invested into another program. I'm paying to that program. So I'll not be paying. Likewise, you are getting trained with me. So you wouldn't want to like pay anyone else and get trained, isn't it? So you have to ask, are you being trained? So the moment they say that I'm working with this coach, you know this person is not for you, because they are already with the coach, they are working with somebody, so they are not looking for this. And then also we have to ask, have they been scammed? So sometimes people say I will give these results and they are not able to help them with the result. So usually they'll say, okay, I paid this program this much but nothing happened to me, and those things. So what we are trying to do is understand their history, but also when you understand their history, you know how much they want to do it as well. Because like let's say somebody would go to Tony Robbins program because the person wants to change, because the person, so if he says that okay, 2-3 times I joined Tony Robbins program, that means okay, this is somebody who is willing to change. If you pitch it correctly, this person would come and invest. Like their skepticism, willingness, and hunger you can see from. And then the final point is fears. What are their fears? Any limiting beliefs they are getting in the way, any hesitation, frustration, what is stopping them? Now with this, you know your I help statement. So usually I say I help wannabe entrepreneurs, coaches to make their first $10,000. That's my I help statement. Like that, you will be able, because with these answers, you know the I help statement. Now, the something that we do wrong and that we should improve is usually when we initially create the program, it's like, I think this program will sell. This program has help. But my client might not need whatever I did, whatever I have in the program. That's why we ask this question over and over again and try to understand that person's problem. Let's say Naf has a problem with your relationships. Now, if I want you to like elicit something in you that will help you to do with the hard work, it might not work. Because unless I'm able to help you fix your relationship issue, you will not be able to do any hard work. So that's why we ask these questions, we note down what is this person. So what are the things, elements that should be in my programs? So you should be always like willing to change your program. But then you should also, now when we come to hit that point, you should also ask this other question. Now, when it came to DLCC, let's look at this way. DLCC, we did a 6 months program. Everybody enjoyed the 6 months. But when it came to the 60 hours, people were not able to do it. And then there were like people blamed me, like Aska. She was blaming me, saying that when nobody could finish the program, it's a sign that this program is not good. That was what she said to me. When nobody finished the program, it was a sign. So I then went back and I asked the question, okay, do I have to change this program? Will I change this program? Let's say there are 6 books to read. Sandra was suggesting me, okay, maybe we should, like in the program currently I am in, they have some reading materials, they have the classes, they have the videos, but they never check whether I have done it or not. They never ask. Now I am in this program for like from last year, August, up to now. I've been paying monthly. They never once asked me, like, why are you not coming to the class? Because they wanted no money. I'm getting, of course, every week, weekly, once they tag me in the group, class group. That's all. They tag me and ask, what's your progress? That's all. That's all what they do. And I paid $6,000 to these people. So they have weekly classes scheduled. Yes, weekly classes are scheduled, but I don't turn up to the weekly classes. So nobody is worried whether I turn up. So this is the thing. So now the question came, like when DLCC is not, like students are not able to finish the DLCC, I had to ask the question, do I reduce the books? Now, when I reduce the books, what happens is, like the way I want to help you grow, your mindset will not grow. These books are intentionally designed to help you, like, okay, to get a different kind of mindset. You will not be able to, let's say I'm saying, okay, you don't have to read the final part of the Quran, because like, okay, it's not mandatory. Just leave it. So if I give the certificate saying that, you will not know that knowledge. And I cannot promise, like my unique selling point for the program DLCC is when somebody finishes the program, go out with the certificate, the person knows what is in Quran, like the basic concept in Quran. But if I say that this is not it's not mandatory, whether you want to read it or not, it's okay. I cannot say that. Then the other thing came was like, okay, the 60 hours coaching session. So like I was even discussing with my husband, asking, should I remove these coaching sessions, like the practicum sessions, and after 6 months program, should I give the certificate? Then he said, like, okay, even if one person turns up for the program, like don't reduce the value of the program. Because you know that after working with you for 6 months, and when they go out with 60 hours of practicum, they will not struggle. They will know how to do it. So even if one person comes to the program, be happy and do it. But then he gave a suggestion. He said, okay, how about splitting the course into 3 parts? Let's say somebody who wants to do only coaching, we do the coaching elements first, and then the person says, no, I don't want to read the book. So like the person does the coaching modules, the person goes out with the coaching practicum hours and then go. Doesn't matter. Yes, I created that option. So it's there if somebody wants to do that. So that's what I said. Because someone says that, okay, this is the thing, what you want, you also have to say that, okay, am I after money, or am I after like creating something unique that will eventually sell? Now, you can see these students who are doing the ICF coaching with the like Afif, those programs. Now it's a 6 days program, and yes, as a coach, you will know the process because she teaches with a 5-step process. You will know the process. And then she gives an assignment, like a test where you have to do a coaching session. Yes, you can do the coaching session, but you will not know how to sell. And you will not know how to practice using it as well, because there's no practice. Only for the test, 3-4 sessions, that's all. And then if you pass, you pass it. Of course, you can do something, because you know the coaching, you know the framework, you can do something. But the difference between DLCC is when somebody goes out from DLCC, the person can speak, the person can train, the person can coach, and the person also knows how to do the business. Like given that, okay, they feel do everything. So that's the difference. So I said, okay, I'm not going, whether somebody pass it or not, I'll not change the program. So that's what, like, you have to think. Are you going to run it for on a business model where you want more money, or whether you want to create value for somebody? So that should come always. Okay, so I think that's what I wanted to teach you in this one, and there's one concept I wanted to teach. Mhm. Mm. Okay, so I want to teach you this one. This is called the sales funnel, the lead generation. Okay, so lead generation means you do some activity, you bring in people to a free program, and through the free program, you sell your offers, and then you give the service. Basically, lead generation is that it's called the go-to market funnel. So what happens is, in lead generation, whatever you have decided, currently you are in the lead generation process. That's what you are doing. And when you do the free challenge, when people register, that's like the appointment. So here, like, if you look at the lead generation, basically lead generation mean the YouTube podcast, the Mindpreneur weekly video, social media posts, FB, LinkedIn, to post, engage with stories, short videos, TikTok. So these are the kind of things I want to do. Now, what happens is, what do you, the stage of, we are talking about my action and where is my customer. We are looking at it from two perspectives. So this is the stages of customer journey. What I'm trying to do is, when I do the go to market action here in the lead generation stage, when I do these posts, the intention is to create an awareness, interest, and the people will be visiting, they like, react, comment, and share. Basically, that's the intention. So you are currently in this stage, the lead generation stage, and then you're creating that awareness and interest. Then what happens is, let's say you want to make 5 people, sell it to 5 people or 6 people. Your intention is, let's look at like this. You see my, what do you see? Okay, I wanted to open the calculator and show you. Okay, so basically, when the goals target is, you have to get 500 people like, comment, or share. The target is, let's say, if the target is 500 people, now in this strategy, I say, like, if I want to get 6 people, I have to engage 500 people. Basically, that's what I'm saying. If I want to make a sale of 6 people, I have to get 500 people. So this is called reverse engineering. Reverse engineering means, okay, maybe to explain that, I'll just close this one for a while. And you're very sleepy, Ta.
No, I'm not sleepy. I'm just lazy.
Lazy. It's a good title to give you, lazy.
I always call myself lazy.
Isn't that a very harsh term on you? What would you replace it with, a more gentler term?
Oh, lazy doesn't sound bad. It's just me being in my own
But when
space,
I hear it,
time.
I get a different feeling. When you say like I'm just
Mm.
lazy and as an entrepreneur, when I hear the word lazy, it sounds something of balance. What do you feel?
Oh, like I can understand that most people like lazy Purnima, it's associated with not being productive, not doing anything, just laying around. But lazy to me sounds more like okay, you do what you want at your own time, no, taking that sweet time. Ekala gotakangete kada feel one, not in like
Hmm.
a very bad way, like you can't do anything neither.
Hmm.
Gotakano.
Hmm. So do you think that you should change the word that you use instead of lazy to a more suitable word that actually you are doing? Don't you think that you should do it?
What would it be, Visala?
Let's brainstorm. I think that word doesn't
Slow and
because
steady.
sorry. Yeah,
Slow and steady.
yeah, you can say I'm like steadily growing my business, or maybe I am taking one step, like one moment at a time. I'm living that one moment at a time, or maybe a
Hmm.
better phrase, one grind of sand at a time. That kind of a phrase would be better. But the moment lazy, because the meaning of lazy is that you are unproductive, that you don't have that energy. But you are like
Hmm.
the thing that comes with lazy and that what you are saying is totally different, isn't it?
True, true.
Maybe you can say I'm just trusting the process and enjoying the journey. Maybe something like I'm enjoying the journey. Maybe something like that.
Yeah, maybe. And if I'm like, actually being lazy, I can just say I'm taking my time or something like that. A nice
Hmm.
phrase.
Yeah. Because the moment you say lazy, it comes with a different meaning. Lazy people are somebody who cannot put their time and energy into anything and all those kind of things. Yes. Mm, 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 mm. Right, right, right. Okay. So this is what is happening to you. You want your this from this what would say the free challenge that you are about to create. Your target is even from the before the free challenge. Let's say your target is in the month of June. In the month of June, have you considered a rate for your program? How would you like pitch it in the free challenge if you haven't created a rate? The price of your program?
No, I didn't. I didn't think about a price yet.
Is it? Didn't we discuss it? I think somewhere I
I think
mentioned.
we did. I think we did, but like I haven't put a number on it.
Yes, I said create paid offer. So if you create a paid offer, that means it will come with the tagline, price amount, isn't it? Because if you don't know the price that you are going to
Mhm.
sell, you will not be able to tell people. When you people ask how much is this program, you don't know what to say, isn't it?
Mm.
Okay, so let's assume that your first program will start. Let's start small because like it's difficult to attract. We'll start small, but have in mind the 6 week program. Let's say the 6 week program you sell. Eventually, you can sell maybe for $750 or $999, something like that. Initially, when you get started, but then in the as a promotional offer when we are starting okay, you can say maybe I'm selling for 150. Doesn't matter. Because like even if nobody pays, you are going to do it the free challenge. So if somebody pays you $100 or $150, it's really good, isn't it? Because anyway, from the free challenge, the outcome is in the first free challenge, you will choose 3 to 5 people who will you will do it freely. So you will pitch it saying that, okay, I'm going to, in the first challenge, I'm going to give, like, because it's a promotional offer, let's say the actual offer is 9,999, but I'm going to give you 150, anything like that. Okay. So the idea is you want to sell $150 product, and to sell $150 product, your idea is, let's say, 150 into 5 people. So by the end of June, the target is you want to make $750. Now, this, if you are, the target is $750 and the price of your program is 150, that means you have to get 5 people. Because 150 into 5 is 750. So that's the calculation. We call this one reverse engineering. Reverse engineering. That means we decide how much we want, and then we calculate it back to how much effort we have to put in. Let's say for my program, I am initially I did the calculation for $80,000. So I have a program 80,000 divided by 6,000. So the price of my program is 6,000. That means if this is divided by, I need 14 people. 14 people to get my $80,000. Likewise, then I will come and down and reverse engineer and find out how I am going to get 40 people. Now, let's say you want 5 people. So when you want 5 people, first you have to ask, okay, if 5 people attend to your course and you are saying that when I do the work, let's say if I do a free program, 50% of the people, no, only 10% of the people who are in the program, like the free challenge, will purchase. So this is the number of people who will purchase. And then the question is, you are saying that you are marking, like usually these are industry benchmarks. So when you go a little bit and you research, you will find that, okay, if this amount of people attends a free session, this number of people will turn up. So what I'm saying is 10 people will purchase this one. So to identify the 10 people, I have to have 63 people in my free challenge. Okay. So it's at 63 into 10% is. Are you good at maths?
No.
Okay, so it's not. So 5 into 110%.
What are you trying to find?
I'm trying to find how many, if your target is 5 people, how many people, wait, I have the Excel sheet for that. I'm trying to go with the calculator, that's why I'm having difficulty. Goes. Making $80,000 in 100 days. The problem is when you want to find anything, you will not find it. Because you have so many things on your laptop. Right? Because you have so much on your laptop, you will not find anything when you want to find it. Okay, sales funnel calculation. Okay, so let's imagine I have calculated it for 6 people. Okay, so I'll just tell with that example. Now, if I want to have 6 purchases that I want to, that means, let's say, instead of this one, let's call it 150 into 6 is 150 into 6. So, okay. So your target is to make $900 at the end of June. So to make $900, if the price of your product is $150, with $150, you need 6 people. Now, to get these 6 people, you are saying if you create a free challenge, there should be 63 people, because out of these 63 people, the benchmark says if 63 people attend this one, only 10% will join make the purchase. Like 10% means like 1:10. That we always we told you, okay, if you talk to 10 people, 1 person will join. So that with that framework, okay. So 10 people will join. Now then the next question is, to get these 63 people free into the free challenge, what should you do? So that means you have to go and do the presentations. That means Zoom calls, presentations, individual chat logs. Like you have to go and you are saying that whoever who like you text, you gives up individual presentation, like the one you did as Zoom call today. If this person did a Zoom call, there is a 50% likelihood that this person will join your free challenge. So with that, if we have to look how many presentations you have to give, it's 125, like just into 2, because it's 50%. So 50% of these people will join. So you have to have 125 presentation in order to get that 63 people in the free challenge. And if you want to have that 125 presentation, how many likes, how many leads basically you need? So if you need talk about the leads, you have to have 500 leads. That means like for your posts, your stories, your TikToks and everything, 500 people should like them, react to them, engage with them. So out of the 500 people, what we are saying is, out of this 500 people, 25% of people will, if you 500 people engage with your post, when you do an invitation to talk, 25% of the people will come on board and help give you the opportunity to present to them, talk to them, like the Zoom call you did. And after the Zoom call, you are asking these people to come and join your free challenge. So out of these 125 people, what we are saying is 50% of the people will join the free challenge. And from the free challenge, the people who join the free challenge, we are saying only 10% people will make the purchase decision. Got an idea?
Yeah.
So what we are doing is we are identifying how much do I want at the end of the month. And when we know how much we want, we are using this framework. This is like initially from leads to appointments. Leads to appointment, it's 25%. From leads to appointment. And then from appointments to presentation. So you give an individual presentation. This presentation, if you give a presentation appointment, okay, 50% of these people will turn up. And then from the 50% of people who turn up, they will join like sorry. Okay. This should be, sorry, this should be here. Leads. So this is what you are doing, social media marketing. So whoever is engaging with your social media content, like 25% of the people will come for the appointment. So 25% will come from the people who are like, that is people who are sending you a message asking what is about it, like those kind of things. commenting and like saying this is something. So from these people, 25% of people will do this. And from these 25% of people, like will agree to come for a presentation. So when they come for a presentation, you give the presentation and then you ask to come for the free challenge. So what we are saying, okay, they will come for the free challenge. That percentage, and when you do the free challenge, from the free challenge, you can make a sale of 10%. So it's 25%, 50%, 10%. That is the three formulas that I am using for my business. 25%, 50%, 10%. Always, whoever comes to my free challenge, I can sell to only one person, like basically. If 10 people come, I can sell to one person. But if I can give presentation, from the presentation, like if I give presentation to 10 people, five people will come to the free thing. And when I create like posters and things, out of the people who are engaging, if there is 10, like out of 10, 25 people will come to join my presentation. Like to come and talk to me, like let me talk about something. Would you like to, that kind of part. So only 25% of people who are engaging with my content will turn up there. And from those 25%, okay, 50% is attending to the like final free challenge. Because okay, when they did 25% people, basically it's like, let's say 25, so out of 10, it's only two people will, like, so you are creating, and in order to create, so what I'm showing here is here. So if I want to make $900, to make $900, I have to create posts and TikToks, videos like that will get 500 likes, 500 comments. So if I get this amount, okay, there is a possibility one person will sign up. You get my point? Any confusions? That seems so blank.
No. Not
Okay, so now let me show this, that screen that I was showing earlier. Okay, so this is the same thing that I just explained. I explained with the number. So what happens is, as your GTM action, that means as your go-to-market strategy, you are creating lead generation. Usually whatever social media post that you are doing, the purpose of it is to create awareness, interest, then people will visit our pages, like, react, and comment. That is the target. So if you do the lead generation work, the target is, your target is to get comments, let's say 500 comments on your post. That's your target. So if you get 500 comments, what I'm suggesting is like, okay, from these 500 people, 25% will qualify. That means that is 125 people here. Like they will qualify to message you and ask, what is this about? I want to join. That kind of a message you will get. So you are saying, okay, here is a Google form. Can you fill? I am creating a free offer. Would you like, so that people will fill the Google form, people will take the quiz, or people will send you messages. That's only from these 500 people, only 125 people will do. So basically, what we are doing is, from lead generation, it comes to the appointments and invitation. So you are asking people to join your Facebook group, download a free PDF, the quiz, or 7-day like challenge. So anything that is. So what is this stage of customer journey? The customer journey is basically they are searching for information. They are saying, okay, messages on SM, they ask questions. Social media message call up, they ask questions. They take the quiz, fill the form and download a PDF, fill Google form and join a 7-day challenge. So that is like they are getting the information. What is Shahina doing? Like that they are asking. Now, from these 125 people, we are saying that if 125 people send you a comment saying, like send you a message saying that, hey, what is this about? And then you say, why don't you join the Facebook group? If you say these people, why don't you join the Facebook group? Only from these 125, we are saying 50% say yes. So they join the presentation, they join the Facebook group, or they say, okay, I will attend the 7-day challenge. So 50% says, and when you do the presentation, so you are running the course creation, like the challenge that you are doing, or you display quiz results, you send a PDF, then what are they doing? The stage of customer journey is their evaluation, they are on trial basis. So they complete the 7 days challenge or the 5 days challenge, 3 days challenge, or they analyze quiz results. Let's say you have created a quiz and you are asking people to fill the quiz, do the quiz, so that you will send a detailed report to them. So they will analyze their report and they say, oh, I have this problem, I should like seek help for this problem. They say that. So basically they are in the analyze the quiz results, get stressed with results. Usually what we want to do is, if we are sending a quiz, they should be stressed with their results to the level they want to take action and do something. And then they book one-on-one session to find a solution. So that's basically when 50% of the people, so basically this 50% of the people, they attend your course creation or the challenge, you are all attend to the discovery one-on-one calls. So then we are saying from the 63 people, only 10% will agree. That means will agree to pay you. So what you do is you are selling, sales one-on-one calls or charge credit card. So here the customer journeys, they make the purchase. In the purchase, they will have a lot of objections. Oh, I can't, my husband is having the card. I have to ask him, I don't have money. I will think about it. These kind of things will come. So basically, we call it the objections. In selling, we have something called the objection, and objection handling is you have to say, okay, if you want to join. So let me give an objection. So I was talking to one of my Dua program student. She is interested into coaching. So earlier I one day asked her, do you want to do the coaching certification? She said, yes. Then I gave the information and she said, I'll ask my daughter. So basically it's an objection. She doesn't want to directly join. She wants to talk to somebody because she is not sure of what I'm saying. Then she didn't respond. So day before yesterday, like last night we have the class. So day before yesterday, I messaged her and I said, I'm waiting for your response, but you haven't responded. What did your daughter says? Then she said, my daughter said I can do it. So this person is not very well versed in English. So she has this fear that whether she can do it. And she's a friend of Rizu. And so she is getting information from Rizu, and probably Rizu has like ruined her mind because like, okay, it's difficult because I don't know English and all those things came up. And then I said, like, you are not Rizu. You are working in a government organization for the last 20 years. You know to do things. You can read English. You talk about always YouTube, watching YouTube videos, reading this Quran Tafsir. How can you read Quran Tafsir and watch YouTube videos if you don't understand English? Then she said, yeah, yes, that's true. I can read, I can understand. But I had a little bit fear. Then I said, you should think about, she is like an attendant at a hospital. So I said, you have to think about upgrade in your life. Are you going to be an attendant forever in the hospital? And then she was thinking and said, that's very true. And then she said, how, okay, I will attend the, like, because we had last night the orientation. She said, I want to attend orientation tomorrow and I will decide. Then I said, no. So this is like, we create that urgency. So I said, no, you cannot, unless you fill the form and pay, you cannot attend the orientation. Then she said, oh, I have few questions. I said, what are the questions? What is the payment? And then she mentioned that her daughter is about to give birth at the beginning of June. So she thinks that it will be very busy for her. Then I understood that, okay, if like her first grandkid is about to be born, and it's something for her, isn't it? She is working and she is busy, so she might not accept. So I sent her the form and she said she will respond, like she will fill it with her daughter last night. And then she didn't, like she was sending messages to me today about other things. So I know that, okay, she is not ready yet. So, okay, she's not ready yet, so I don't have to force her now. So that is called the objection handling. So you will know the person, when the person is ready, the person will come. That will happen. So basically the purchase decision, make payment, and this is where you get your like the number of sales that you want. So this is called the sales funnel, where at the top of it, it has number of activities should happen, more number of activities should happen, and as it go as a funnel, at the end of it, only 6 people, 500 people engage with your post and only 6 sales happening, like that. Okay, so in this one, I have created an extra layer. So let's say I am able to pay 6 people. 6 people are able to join in my program. So I'm saying 90% of the people who join my program will not cancel, will do the program, complete the program. That's why I have a 5 here, the happy customers 5. Maybe one person might say that, oh no, I cannot do it, and all those things will come. The rejection will be there. I mean, after purchase, they will refund and all those things happen. So that's why I have a number here. So what I'm saying is, when I'm able to make a sale, only 10% of people, that means 90% of the people stays, only 1% might go. That is here totally. That's the whole thing. So I want you to create a diagram like this. And I want you to put a figure here, like how much you want to make sales, sign up. Okay, this is a number of sign up. So I want you to have a figure. Let's say $900, $1,200 that you want to do at the end of the month. So then reverse calculate it. If I want to have, let's say, $900. Okay, these are the percentages, 25, 50, 10. This percentage. Note down these percentages, and how many people should comment on my post. This is what you have to determine. So in order to get, let's say, $900, you might want to attract 1,000 comments. It might depend, isn't it? That's it. It's called, this is called the sales funnel, and this is called the lead generation, from lead to sales. So lead is somebody who is engaging with your post. You bring the person, basically you ripen the person and the person get ready to make a final sale, and finally you have money in the bank account. It's called the lead generation into the sales, and this is called the sales funnel. Any questions, any thoughts?
No questions.
No questions. I think if there are no questions, we can finish tonight's class by now, and we can get back to work. And because we have been updating daily and we have been following up, so we know what is happening and what are we progressing and what we should improve. Everything that we are doing, do you have any doubt that you want to clarify? Anything that is okay, you feel that this is not working, I should be working more of this, like that kind